Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Ren7. How you doing? So, today we got a good one. This is Abe the Conqueror of the Alliance Dark Side. And he's got some defenses up in the millions, a pretty big roster. In yesterday's video, we saw the Ravager Stitchers here, and we talked about why not to do that. You can check that out in yesterday's video if you want. This is, Blue ISO, my God. So this is not Abe's thing. Abe knows how to build a defense. He does really good. I think we're going to see a really good score here. If you've never been here before, you can check the description for the teams that we're going to be going over. Just grab the slider. It'll appear up in the window wherever my finger is pointing. There you go. And that way you can skip ahead. These things usually run about 18, 22 minutes, something like that. And we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I am still under the weather. We're doing a short stream today on Twitch because I got to get my voice back. Doctor says I'm straining it too much. Team number 1. This is a tech team. This is used to be like a Tech Nerva because you'd have Minerva in here, but we're putting Ultron in, which is kind of cool. You could replace Groot with Minerva and bring up the overall value because Groot isn't a tech character, but he does cleanse and put up death proof and defense up and stuff like that. So he adds some value to this because what's happening is Vision is starting the team off with defense up, and then later he's going to extend that, well, not extend it, but put another defense up on the team to keep that defense up going. You've got Star-Lord probably overinvested in my opinion, but maybe you're an old school player and that's what you did. I've got a great big Star-Lord too because I'm 900 days or something like that. Rocket could probably use a little love if you want to be serious about this team, but I wouldn't invest any more in Groot. He's pretty tough and he's usually the last target anyways. Vision, I like running Vision now as a level 5 skirmisher because he can't stick a wet noodle to the wall, and he needs that focused boost. You've got Ultron as a striker. You got striker, and skirmisher over here. For those of you that don't know, this 3-piece of the Guardians should always be striker, and skirmisher because then you get a triple tap with Rocket and a quadruple tap with Star-Lord 50% of the time, just the way it sets up. I'm not going to explain it. Check out previous videos if you want to see how that works. And then you've got Ultron as a striker, which that's good. He gets a damage boost. I think that we should probably start going and putting our red stars on Ultron. He's getting some value in some other nodes. People are running him in the tech lanes of Doom 1 and 2, believe it or not. He's got some good synergy with a lot of different stuff. I don't think that you should go crazy on red stars for him, but I can't advise going against it either. So, yeah, anyway, he'll hit a lot harder if you start putting some red stars on him. This is just a filler team. However, these aren't really tunes that you want to invest in. These are for older players. If you're a newer player, hopefully your Guardians are not even unlocked, would probably be the best. Vision used to be a top 10 character about 2 years ago. Now he's like a bottom 10 character. This is the only place you ever see or use Vision anymore. And then Ultron, like I said, has a bit of value. He's probably the one that's underinvested in this team. Also, get these guys war ready. I think the Raider ISO is one to use. You haven't overinvested, so I would switch him to the Skirmisher. Take him up to level 5. It'll make him work a lot better. But that's really if you just got the ISOs to spare, and who does these days? Anyway, make him war ready, and I like the team. I'm going to give you a B for that. Number 2 is the Red Skull Hydra 1.0. This is a team, as I say all the time, you can put any ISOs you want on them. It doesn't matter, but my favorite is to put Fortifier on everybody because they die and revive and die and revive, and they're always respawning with that extra barrier. You went Striker. You can also do Skirmisher, but I like Striker. Healer, Raider, and Fortifier. Those are the correct ISOs. This is the correct placement. You've got plenty of investment to make this a scary team, but you do need to make them war ready, so I'm going to give you an A- on that team. It's looking good, though. Team number 3, Heroes for Hire. This is the one that, as we move into your bigger numbers, I think that we should have seen this at a higher number here. I like to see this over 400 and then stop. Just over 400, go to a hard stop, because unless you want to use these characters and maybe even her in other game modes, I don't think it's worth investing in this point. Their hard counter is right around the corner, and this team's going to get crushed. Just like when Black Bull came out for the Hydra team, for the Hydra 1.0 team, and just destroyed this Hydra team. We got Weapon X around the corner. It's going to destroy this team. So I don't want to see people investing over 400. The reason I say 400 is if they're 400 or more, it requires you to bring in an Infinity Watch or a huge punch down with monster characters like the new Warriors with Black Bolt and Silver Surfer. They can actually kind of carve into this team a little bit, but it's a huge punch down. So let's see. You went, wow, I don't like the ISOs on this at all. Okay, you want Fortifier on Luke Cage because he's dying and reviving, and he's a hard first target. I do like the placement, but I don't like this as a striker. I think he should be skirmisher, or as a secondary, a healer. I like getting that extra vulnerable on the field. That's why I say skirmisher. And then you should go striker. This one is correct. And then, skirmisher on Misty Knight, and striker on Colleen Wing. That one is correct. And raider, this one is correct. Get them war ready. Change those ISOs. Keep the placement. Get this over 400. I'm going to give you a C+ for that. I don't like the investment that you put in these three with the striker. I don't like that at all. Team number 4. Wow, we're doing a lot of hero brawlers, aren't we? Okay. I've been seeing a lot of hero brawlers lately, these young Avenger mixes. So I really hate seeing Symbiote Spider-Man right here, unless you don't have Anti-Venom unlocked, or for some reason you can't put together the symbiotes. I don't like Symbiote Spider-Man here. I like him on his team for offense. You can run symbiotes on defense, but they're better on offense. They do a lot of different things on offense. So he's great on this team because he's a hero brawler, right? I mean, these are all hero brawlers. You've got skirmisher, strikers on these guys. You put healer on her. I actually like her as a striker too. The healing boost doesn't seem to do much for her. It's the cleanse that you want, so who cares about the heal factor? Ghost Rider also, I like him better on the Hella Natural team. So this to me seems wasteful. You have them built up. You could make really good offensive teams out of these tunes. So unless there's a reason you don't have Supernatural and Symbiotes, then I think you should take them off of this. Let's see, America Chavez. God, I hate America Chavez. She just needs to be retooled a little bit. Her kit's kind of bland, and it's a shame. Like you read her kit and it's simple, and you're like, I like what she does, but she just doesn't do it very well. All right, so change this ISO. I really think you should be replacing these with more standard hero brawler characters. Ideally, you just want to get rid of this whole team and put something that's better in here. But if you're gonna run a hero brawlers and you have a specific reason to be putting these two in here, this makes it a pretty tough team. I'd actually like to see you maybe replace her with somebody like Miles or something. I know Miles is kind of a crap tune, but with these two characters in there, Miles is going to do some things that's actually going to help these guys out a little bit more with some of that turn meter rewind and whatnot. Plus, you could put like Miles someplace where he turns invisible and stops chain attacks from going through, you know, something like that. It's an idea. I kind of think what you're doing here is a little bit wasteful. I don't like it. I'd rather see a striker on this one if you're going to run this team. And then Miss Marvel on a Hero Brawler or Young Avenger team, she needs to be one of the strongest because she is counter-assisting on everybody else's attack. So make sure you T4 her basic and get her built up really big, which, again, she's not a great character to be investing in. So that's why I don't like people putting this one on defense. I'm going to give you a C- for this. I think you could build two awesome offensive teams with these two characters. Team number 5, Emmarauders with Ghost in place of Sabretooth and Minerva in place of Mystique. This is fine. Let's see, Fortifier, Striker, Healer. Looking good. Fine placement. I like that you got her here. She's really dodgy and stops chain attacks. I think Shadowlands is still going to beat this team. I think that you can build other hybrids using these two characters elsewhere and put Sabretooth and Mystique back in here for the time being. Maybe you do Sabretooth and Wolverine in here, or Sabretooth and Silver Samurai, although I don't like Silver Samurai on this team. Turns out he's too slow, and the Shadowlands can still beat this team, so maybe Sabretooth and Wolverine. I don't know. I also see McMull saying that the 3-piece of the Weapon X is doing some real work in offense. So maybe just go... maybe just take her out and put Mystique back in. I don't know. You could put Doc Ock in here or something too. There's some different things you can do. There's nothing wrong with this. I just think it's kind of meh. And you've got some crappy defenses that we just saw, and you should be building some other hybrids with stuff like these plug-and-play characters. So... let's switch that up. I'm going to give you a B for this team just because you could be stretching out your roster and making some of your other teams stronger by going a little thinner here. No matter what, Shadowlands is coming in and beating this team, so why waste these tunes? Number 6. Ooh, an AIM hybrid. Look at that Doc Ock in here for some tech synergy. That's interesting. You went with Fortifier over here. Now, AIM Security has healing properties built into her kit. So I actually like Healer on this better than Fortifier. She's pretty tough and hard to get through, although some people do try and target her down. So Fortifier isn't a bad pick. I think it's a second choice to Healer, though. I think you should change out Monstrosity for somebody else, though. Like Ultron. Yeah, put Ultron in here instead of Monstrosity, and this team's gonna get really tough. Also, Doc Ock has adjacent blocks, deflects that he's putting out there, so put Doc Ock somewhere in the middle. Maybe swap places with Graviton over here, so that you got Doc Ock in the middle, and then Ultron here, and Graviton to the outside. And that's going to be a pretty formidable team. I assume by some of the numbers that we're seeing on your roster that you're an old school player, maybe a day one launch or something like that, because, man, AIM built up like this, that's something. I don't recommend anybody ever building AIM this big. I think you should have AIM at about 300 or 400, depending on what league you're in, and then you can use them on offense to clean up those OG Sinister Six teams that don't have Doc Ock. They work great for that. I mean, you can just throw them on auto and they just wipe those teams out, punching up and everything. So but you have a substantial investment in here. I just think as a defensive team, putting Ultron in here with Doc Ock in the center is going to make this team really tough to get through. As is, the only major thing you're doing wrong is you've got Doc Ock and Graviton in the wrong place. Otherwise, your ISOs are good enough, and you're probably over-invested in the team, but that's something that probably happened a long time ago. So I'm going to say a C+ for this team. I'm just not excited to see it in your defensive lineup. Team number 7 is Mercs with Ultimus. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. A for this team. 8 is the Wave 1 Avengers. You've got Hulk and Captain America. I think we're trading positions on these two for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, trade positions on those two. And also maybe go ahead and put the blue ISOs on here since you're already got them up to 5. You've got this million power, right? This is a huge team, and getting the blue ISOs on those guys is going to make it that much harder with the added 10% that we just got with the changes to war. These guys are really tough to stick those negative effects to, so you want to capitalize on that. Go ahead and take them, at least the tier 1 blue ISO. Actually, I'm sorry, at least the tier 2 blue ISO where they get those stat boosts. They are going to be so thick and hit so hard. It's going to be amazing. You've got Captain Marvel in here instead of Black Widow. You're probably running the Skeleton team on offense, so that's okay. As an alternative to Captain Marvel, you could be running Coulson in here. He is a better replacement for Thor, but no one's taking Thor off of this team anymore. He's just too good on the Wave 1. So, but you could put Coulson in here. I think you've already, I mean, you got 7 red stars on her as a striker, so, you know, it is what it is. I think it's a good pick for your roster. I think you're doing everything just right. You could make it better by putting the blue ISOs in here. Maybe that's what you're doing and you just haven't gotten around to it yet and have other priorities. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that that's where you're gonna go with these two characters and give you the A right now. All right, team number 9 is a Brotherhood with Doom. We see this a lot on defense. The X Factor plus Rhino is a great cure for this, although for some reason a lot of people seem to have trouble playing that one. I don't, but that's what I would use with my roster, although I don't think my X Factor and Rhino is big enough to compete with the numbers that you're putting up here. Again, 1,000,000 points. That's awesome, man. All right, I do have problems with some of your ISOs here. So Blob should be a skirmisher because he taunts and he gets attacked. It's kind of like Bishop where he counterattacks and puts that vulnerable on people. He really should be a skirmisher. You're going Striker for the added damage, but he is kind of slow, so you're not maximizing on that. Raider would be the secondary choice actually because all of his attacks are like hitting adjacent stuff. Plus he's clumping them together, so you're getting a lot of, it's like a full AoE getting everybody. So Raider really has good value there too. I don't like the Striker. It's not terrible. At least it's not like Fortifier or Healer because man, what a waste that would be. Oh wait, we have Fortifier on Juggernaut. So Juggernaut definitely needs to be a Raider. Same kind of principle. They're clumped together. He's hitting a lot of people. You're getting vulnerables out on the field for Doom to pop off on, and he just needs to be a Raider. I don't like Fortifier. He's already pretty thick. He's tough to get through, and you've got another tank on the field that's getting some of the damage, so he's not even getting the brunt of all the damage. He's sharing it with Blob, plus getting deflects from Blob already. He's getting enough. He doesn't need the Fortifier. Striker, Raider, Skirmisher, those are correct. Everything else you're doing is very good here. Yeah, change those two ISOs. I'm going to give you a B for that. Number 10. So this is that Inhumans Coulson hybrid. Excuse me, my voice is cracking still. We see this a lot on defense, although it looks like maybe Surfer and Black Bolt are being pulled off for a new Warriors offense that we see out there these days. It's cutting edge stuff, guys. I'm not excited about that offense, to tell you the truth. I think it's kind of overkill, but I mean, if you're using it to cut into Heroes for Hire or something like that, and it works on a punch down, you need it to happen, well, that's a tool in your tool belt there. So what we got going on here: Striker, Raider, Striker, Skirmisher. Those are all the correct ISOs. She should definitely be level 5, if not a level 3 blue Skirmisher to get vulnerables for Silver Surfer to play off of. Although on defense, he may not be selecting the player that has the double vulnerable. But whenever you have level 3 blue Striker, you want a corresponding level 3 blue Skirmisher. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste. They're not able to utilize that third tick on their Striker. I love Coulson as a Raider and her as a Raider also. Alternatively, she could be a healer, but I don't like that one. I like Raider because of her AoE attacks. I think you're doing everything right here. You're on your way to building a really supreme defense. I'm curious if this team is going to be broken up for offense, or if that's just kind of a fluke team that's happening just now. We'll see. Time will tell. As for now, I'm going to say, yeah, again, I'll just assume that you're going to get there eventually with her, and I'll go ahead and give you the A right now because you're doing everything right and you're on your way on the correct path. So keep going, get that tricked out, and you'll be doing a fantastic job. This is a massive defense. I mean, people start out, down here on team number 1, and they're like, oh, haha, like a 481, he's an older player, but whatever, I can get through this stuff, it's not optimal build, it's just some trash filler stuff. But then they get up into, and they're like, whoa, what the hell am I going to do with this wave 1 at 1 million plus, So it's a great setup you've got going there. Keep up the good work, keep pushing those numbers. Obviously, you're taking war pretty seriously, or else you're just got a lot of money to throw at this game or something. I don't know, but I like what you're doing. I wish that you were in my alliance. Anyway, this has been Abe the Conqueror's Defense Up review. If you like what you saw, hit like and subscribe. You can find links in the description. If you want your defense featured on Defense Up, please contact me on Discord. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and each other too. Bye.